right, folks, solo style. It was going to be touchdowns live, but with Mayhem texting me saying he was busy, it wasn't going to be able to make the show. I figured I'd just go solo style. So it is Christian Ballard, sports journalist with Ballard Sports Media. We got to talk about this NCAA news, but first, I do, as a baseball fan, want to update you guys. Uh, the Mets, of course, keeping it tight with the Phillies here. Uh, 4-1, really close game. They win the divisional league series. Was really pulling for the Phillies there over the Mets. My grandfather, a Philadelphia guy, so for his sake, I was pulling for Philadelphia and everything. But the Mets going to the NLCS, first time in 9 years. Lindor in the sixth inning hit a grand slam. Um, and he did very very well. Uh, to in the bottom of the sixth, of course, they were down, but he scored. Marte scored. Taylor scored, and Alvarez scored. Those four guys basically won it. And then they shut out the Phillies and found a way to close it out, strike them out in the top of the ninth inning to advance. So, anyway, that's your baseball update. What we really want to talk about, though, as by the way, we got the Dodgers up 8-0 over the Padres at the top of the seventh. The Padres put out the Braves just last week, unfortunately. Never really been a big Dodgers fan, though. I like the story of the Padres this year, though, what they've been able to do. I love Tatis, too. Uh, Peralta's really good at pitching. I could go on and on and on. But we got to talk football tonight. Let's move on from baseball, but we will keep an eye on that game. Top of the seventh, 8-0 Dodgers. Uh, the NCAA did what? Now I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try number one to go no longer than an hour. Honestly, because it's been a long day. I don't want to spend more than whatever amount of time talking about this. We can pull up articles. We can talk about this. We knew this was coming. I mean, none of this should come as a surprise. I think what the surprise should be is how the NCAA has gone about this. College football has been becoming a business, but I think the steps that were taken today by the Division One Council of the Collegiate Athletic Association, the NCAA, the actions taken today just set the world on fire in college athletics. I mean, it is full on a business now. So, NLI, National Letter of Intent, which has been around since 1964. It is basically a contract, but not a contract. In other words, like, there's no money involved. I mean, we have NIL deals now, but it was like a contract without money signed by a student athlete in any sport, men's and women's basketball, baseball, obviously football. You signed that letter of intent. Like, I intend to play at the University of Alabama. I intend to play at Auburn. I intend to play at Georgia and Clemson and LSU. I intend to go to this school. Well, that's gone now. That's out the window as of today. So now what they're doing is, I guess it's still kind of there, but it's basically being replaced. It's not so much going away as it is being replaced by this new financial aid agreement that will provide, and I read this, by the way, from Eli Letterman of ESPN. He puts this article out, and to explain it, he says the NLI letter of intent will be replaced by a new financial aid agreement that will provide many of the same core functions as the national letter of intent and will likely be tied to a contract related to an impending revenue sharing model across collegiate athletics. Under the new rules, this is again from the article too, kind of reading about this. I'm kind of learning this as we read. I just saw the news today when it came out, and I read up on it a little bit, but I'm kind of learning some more about this as I read here. Under the new rules, transfer athletes will be allowed to sign with a new school after they formally enter the portal. Okay. Part of the NCAA, once a prospect has signed a written offer of athletic aid, other schools will be prohibited from recruiting communications. Let me think about this for a second. You guys know how I am. I tend to overthink things. I'm like, it takes me a second to process what I'm reading. It takes me a second to fully understand and grasp this. So let's read that again. Transfer athletes will be allowed to sign with the new school after they formally enter the portal. So you enter the portal, you'll be allowed to sign with a new school. Once a prospect has signed a written offer of athletic aid, other schools will be prohibited from recruiting communication. So once it's basically like, hey, you signed this contract with this school, you're going to go play. They're going to help you out financially and stuff like that, academically, athletically, especially. Once you do all that, you know all those other schools out there. Yeah, they can't do anything. Yeah, you can't talk to them. They can't talk to you. They can't come at you. I could go on about what the NCAA has done today. I could rant, I could rave, whatever. This won't take place, by the way. The final hearing they say is sometime in April. It's right here, April 7th, 2025, to approve the settlement. That's the final hearing. Um, what else here? So this has been around for decades. This NLI letter of intent, that's going away. And it's like it's not so much, like I said, it's not so much going away as it is kind of being replaced. Like, think about it, because and this all comes from the House and the NCAA thing from 4 or 5 months ago that took place. Um, let's see what else we can find on this. What's Sports Illustrated say here? What is this? Um, so okay, yeah. I remember reading this, not from Sports Illustrated, but I had read it on ESPN. So instead, what they're going to do, instead of a letter of intent to sign or be recruited by or transfer or anything like that, because what you would do now, if you're a high school athlete, you would write up a letter, all glory to God, and I want to thank my family and friends for all the love and support. And you say your piece, then you say for the next 3 or 4 years at minimum, I will be attending the University of Alabama or the University of Florida, or I'm going to Ohio State University or whatever. Pick your school, right? That's what you would do. That's the NLI, letter of intent. Now, what they're going to do is use financial aid, help, scholarship agreements. So, I mean, is it me? Maybe I'm crazy, but what I'm taking from it is it not paying players to come to your school if you're giving them scholarship money, scholarships, period, and then financial aid help? Like, especially with the financial aid help, is that not buying players? I'm just curious. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it here. And if you're watching this live, we got like 5 people watching. I appreciate it. Love you guys. If you're watching this back, please comment. Let me know your thoughts on this situation. Let me know what you guys think. This is huge. This is huge because this is a life change. Well, I don't want to say life change. This is a business changing decision that the NCAA did today. Business changing decision. I don't know how else to put it. I'm sure there's other ways you could word it. I can't. It's late. I can't think of how else I want to put that. But I mean, it's changing the business. I mean, it is a business. College athletics, I will say, should not be a business. It should not be run like they do the MLB, the NFL. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. I'm a look. NIL's around. I got used to it. Portal, got used to it. The what's the thing that really bugged me? I don't know. Expanding the playoffs to 12 teams instead of 8. Yeah, that's, whatever. We're doing it. This is new. Not surprising, but it's new. And why is it not surprising? Because we kind of have, for the last couple years, we have seen the news that's come out about the NCAA. And if you're smart enough and you pay enough attention to the details behind the scenes work and everything that they put out there, you you can run with it. You can say, "Oh, well, blah blah blah." Pick the details. I don't know. Well, they're transfer portal or NIL and compensation for athletes. That what if they do this next? If you make a prediction right now, or you made a prediction in 21, 22, whatever, that something like this was going to happen, honestly, some people would have called you crazy. No, it won't get that bad for college athletics. It won't. But me personally, back then, I didn't say anything. I kind of saw it going in this direction. I would have said, I'll take you up on that bet and I'll raise you. I will. Let me get to the comments here. What's up, Joey, Jackson, Johnson? Love you guys. Love you, Jerry. Thanks for always showing up. And an aspect, college football is ruined. It's why Saban got out. Exactly. This is why. This is why Nick Saban retired. He didn't retire because of his age. Think about it, man. Oh, Nick Saban's just getting up in age. He's going to retire. Age ain't nothing but a number for that man. He's in good health. Had a hip replacement, threw the cane and walker out, got back on the recruiting trail and everything after 2019, right? A few years ago. Age ain't got nothing to do with it. He saw the direction. He went and testified about this stuff before Congress and said, this is what we got to do. He tried to do everything he could to prevent it. He lost it. And as a result, he's in the media now. He's out. He's not the coach of Alabama anymore. He didn't quit because of what's happened with Alabama the last few years. It's not well, I haven't won a title since 2020. I'm going to hang it up. No, it's the world of college football. You want to look at Alabama and then Georgia, Clemson a little bit, I guess. But notice a trend. All your famous coaches and stuff, you still got guys like Mike Gundy, who's been around for a while. Brian Kelly's been around for a while. I get it. But you think about a Kirby Smart. It hasn't even been 10 years coaching for him. He's doing a fantastic job at Georgia. But he's a young head coach. Kalen DeBoer. He was at Sioux Falls, then he went to Washington, and everyone knew his name. He made the national title. Now he's at Alabama. He's a young coach. He's got a lot left in him. The young coaches are taking over college football. You're not going to get rid of the sport. You're going to go out. You're going to get these young guys that know how to adapt. Because the schools can't do anything. They could go protest all they want to. The NCAA is not going to change their mind. It's become a business. The schools, the coaches, they don't really have a say. They can't throw their 2 cents in with it going through. Honestly, think about it. Players run the sport now. It's ridiculous. I hate the direction it's going. I'm always going to watch college football and love college football. I get it. You don't see it on field. But if you really dive into behind the scenes of what's really going on in football, baseball, basketball, the NCAA, if you really look behind the scenes and look really close at it, if you're smart enough, you're not giving into it. You're not saying, oh, this is so cool what they're going to do. No! It's fixing to be chaos out there. I'm not happy about it. Full-on chaos is the direction that we're heading for the NCAA, and it's already there. It's more than halfway there. All we can do as fans is sit back, twiddle our thumbs, just watch the games. But this is going to mess, if you're smart enough and you know behind the scenes and what's going on, like, it's going to mess with your heads as fans. It's really going to mess with your heads because you can sit there, touchdown, and your team. Let's use me, right? I'm sitting there watching Alabama, Georgia a few weeks ago. Well, let's say this all goes into effect before next season. Alabama goes to Georgia next year, or you could pick any game on their schedule. I'll use Georgia as an example. We're watching the game in Athens next year. Alabama scores on the opening possession or something. Touchdown, Alabama! Big touchdown there for Ryan Williams. 85-yard touchdown. Georgia gives up a big play to start the game. But you know what's happening behind the scenes in my head, though? Man, how much did he make on that play right there? Is that like, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if that's where we are a year from now. I want to watch a game and just enjoy it for the fact that it's football. But next year, or 2026 or something, when we're sitting there watching games, when you see a guy who goes out there and catches 90% of the balls thrown his way, or picks the ball off so many times, or is a hard-hitting defender, or is a quarterback that's running the Heisman race, which Credit to him, right? He's getting paid all this money to be out there on the field, and he's amateur. He's a college athlete. The NCAA is a joke. I agree. Shout out to the comments. I love y'all. Jeremy, I guess it's Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy Garrettson said the NCAA is a joke, and I fully agree. I agree with Jerry on why Saban got out because of college football and what it's become. It's a joke. It's a laughing stock. Now, the NCAA, they mean business. But what's fixing to really happen, I don't think the NCAA is going to dissolve. I really don't. I think the NCAA is getting pretty strong, right? Good for them. But what's fixing to happen is it's not going to be a coach's game anymore. Again, that's why Saban got out. Back in his day, back at LSU, Michigan State, whatever, you do as the coach says. If he didn't like your attitude, if he didn't like how you performed, guess what? You weren't playing. And by God, if he didn't like your attitude, he's kicking your tail off the team. Well, today, they try to defend player. I get defending a player, right? If you love a guy enough and he makes a mistake, Nick Saban was right in his speech one day about, where do you want him to be? Do you want him to be on the streets or do you want to help him get past it and move forward and all that? I get it. Fully get it. I understand. But the coaches used to run the sport. We used to highlight Dabo. And we still do highlight coaches, right? We do. Oh, look what Kirby Smart's done at Georgia. Look what Dabo's done at Clemson. Look what Saban did. Look what back in the days of Bear Bryant and Joe Paterno, look what they were able to do. You couldn't name half of their players because back then it was just based on the coaches and you knew they were dominant, winning a title every few years. The players are fixing to take over the sport of college football and it's going to hurt. It's really going to hurt. If they want to make a little bit of money off NIL, I get it. I'm over the NIL stuff. The pay for play, I'm not on board with. I get it if you want to pay them a couple bucks or do something for being such a good player or whatever. Pay for 10% tuition or something. Do something to help them out educationally. That's what's going to matter. That is what we need to do. They want to make it to the NFL. Guys want to make it to the NFL. They also want the money now. I'm not surprised by any of this today or what happened a few months ago with the pay for play. But it's just the national letter of intent and signing day. That's what made it so special. And starting next year or 26 or whatever, it's going to be gone. This year on signing day, I'd love to watch it. I'd love to see, okay, man, you're live on 247 Sports. You're announcing your commitment. 5-star recruit. Where's he going? Georgia, Clemson, Alabama. Those are your finalists. Ohio State's in the mix, too. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? You won't have that in a few years, man. I'm heartbroken. This hurts. Take a breather. Calm down, Ballard. Calm down. It's all right. You're probably still going to have signing days, but it's going to look different. I mean, all it is, if you think about it, if this goes through, it's not official yet, but this is like right on the cusp of being passed for collegiate athletics. And the Dodgers really dominating tonight, 8-0 over the Padres. Anyway, bottom of the eighth inning. Got the division series going on, guys. But getting back to this, it's just going to look so different, man. And it really shouldn't surprise. It doesn't surprise me. I saw this coming from yesterday. I just saw it happening. I didn't know it would be like this. I didn't like. I'm not psychic or anything that I'm like, oh, I know exactly how it's going to happen. But me and Mayhem talked on touchdowns a few years ago, or a few months. I'm sorry, about hey, the paying players because of their athleticism and pay for play and stuff like that. And we talked about it, and I said I was against it. I said, "What's the point of the NFL if we do this? Really, what's the point? Doesn't make any sense to pay players while they're in college. You want to give them scholarship? Fine. Do you want to help pay for tuition, a certain percentage? That's fine. I get it. But giving them money just because they're an athlete, that they could do whatever they want with that money? I think the money you give athletes should be strictly for education. And if they have a contract, they need to sign a contract that says, I will use this for educational purposes, textbooks and stuff. Get through college, get your degree. I struggle with trying to learn how important all that stuff is, but I'm learning it. It's very important that you get the education. Look, you don't have to get a degree you're going to use. Just get a degree. As if football doesn't work, let's say you have an injury. Let's say you end up hurting yourself in the pro league and it's life changing to where you may never play football again or any sport, basketball, baseball, softball, whatever. You hurt yourself. You can't play for a while. But then it ends up you can't even go pro because you hurt yourself. I hope that doesn't happen for anyone. But when all else fails, you need a backup plan. You need that degree. It should be something you enjoy, something you're good at, not something you're going to throw your life away with career wise, but just, I don't know. There should be no college athlete should be getting paid. But if it's going to happen, I have some ground rules and some suggestions, if you will. Got to hear from you guys in the comments. If you're watching this live back, thank you. Comment down below what you think about this. I just wanted to come on here rant a little bit for about half an hour. I'm almost done. Crap, I am done. I am. I don't know what else to say. I've said everything. I've read everything. National letter of intent to sign with the school is gone. Financial aid, scholarship agreements. It's just not right. That's not football, man. It's not basketball, that's not baseball. Soccer, softball, any sport. Isn't there like swimming and gymnastics in the NCAA too? Sports like that. This goes for all NCAA athletics. Every school, every sport. It's a business. That's all it is. Anyway, it's 11 o'clock here. It's late. I'm tired. I got to get up tomorrow. Go to work. I love y'all. God bless. Jesus loves you. I love you. And we'll get out of here. Comment down below your thoughts. Thanks for watching.